Hello everybody, hope you've had an amazing weekend so far. It is your boy Trix, and today we're going to be doing some more Elixir, building the toy robot. Took me a little bit to remember that. uh, Hopefully you can hear me fine through my mic. I had to change some stuff up because some things were just annoying me a little bit. So the things that I've changed so far are, I think my dot files for my Linux repo used to be like available for everybody to view. Now they are not. If someone does want me to make that public, sure, just leave a comment down below somewhere and probably get around to it. I still haven't got chat up because I forgot to do that. I might go on BRB. Actually, I'll just do it after stream to get the chat up. I can at least see chat now, so if someone does type in chat, I can still see it. It's just that everybody else in the stream won't see it in the video. But if you're watching from like YouTube or something, you'll probably just see chat as you're scrolling by anyway. What else have I changed? I've changed Alacrity. No, not Alacrity, Awesome. So now if I just switch this to one sec. Yeah, floating should be fine. So I've changed my background and everything in Awesome. Just change that there. And then these are my shortcuts and stuff. Pretty normal. So if I go 2, 1, that's normal. I now have a run menu, which is normal. It doesn't show me Brave and stuff anymore because I think it's because it's a flat back, I can't recognize it, which I used to have before anyway with my old setup. What else? My config is now a lot cleaner because I'm just using config that just doesn't break on me. It's because this is no shade at the other person's config that I was using. Their config was fine for them. It's just that their config would only work for their machine mainly, and that makes sense. I'm just using basically just a theme that I've customized and chucked everything into like my .config folder, so I can, like, if I do want to use this on another machine, I can. The only thing I do want to change is what was it? I wanted to change my actual window manager, because the window manager I'm currently using is Awesome and it's written in Lua, which is okay. I don't particularly like Lua all that much. Let me just snap this here. Actually, I could have just done tree. There we go. So I don't like Lua that much. The config's fine. I can get applets working and stuff. Lua is like a very simple language, kind of like Python. I wanted to switch to Hyperlink just because Hyperlink's supposed to be a lot more performant and it's written in Wayland. The main reason that it's supposed to be more performant is because Hyperland is written in C++, whereas Awesome is... You could just see my previous search history from looking at Awesome stuff. Awesome is written in Lua. There's nothing wrong with Lua, obviously, because Lua is mainly fine. It's just, I don't particularly... It's not that I hate on Lua, it's that I haven't touched Lua enough to have a valid experience of Lua. It's just I've used Lua to configure some things because it's a nicer language to configure some things in than other languages. So if I go to like my repositories, I do have some repos that are private, but the main ones that I have now are Awesome, my software dots, and NVim. Those are the main 3 private ones that I have now, where NVim just has my NeoVim config. Is the custom folder that you can put into NBChad. Pretty much just same defaults, just things I've ever written that if I do want to take this anywhere, I can just plop it into that custom folder and it'll just run. That's why it's in its own repo. Then I've got my dot files for just like the main stuff that I use. I know on every machine that I'm just going to run. So if I go into my .config, I've got Alacrity, Git, Idea Vim, Starship, ZellaJ, and ZSH. I'm not running ZellaJ here just because in a tiling window manager you don't really need it. I can install ZellaJ though. Do I want to do that in this stream? I'll probably just do it off stream because Elixir is basically like tiling your terminal for you, which is very useful in like Mac OS, Windows, and stuff, where spawning new windows is very annoying. Whereas in Elixir, I can literally just spam enter and it'll just spam a new one for me. So I've got tiling already installed. Don't really need to. It's just with other machines, tiling is just not a thing. So I have Elixir in my .config. I don't run it now, but I could run it. It's just that I run it on my web machine, so it's fine. And I have some ZSH stuff, which is just like Starship, same defaults, basically aliases, stuff like that. And then my awesome config, which is literally just icons, theme, RC Lua, which is just your init file, and then my wallpaper that I'm going to be using. I grabbed this wallpaper from... Where did I grab the wallpaper from? Can't remember, but it's in my private docs, so I'm not going to make that public. I will make, if someone does want this set up, I will make it public, but that wallpaper I just won't include. You can just use whatever wallpaper you want. Simple. Besides that, I might open up some more repos for other config files that what's it called? Not other configs, but other things I would take to other systems. I don't really have anything like that on this. And mine's basically stock. I just use Awesome. If I had like not ZSH, because I customize ZSH. If I were using KDE or something, maybe. But KDE I don't really like messing with that much, just because messing with KDE opens up a ton of rabbit holes for like, oh yes, this thing's gonna break, that thing's gonna break, which is just I also saw a cool thing on the Awesome Reddit, Awesome Window Manager Reddit for Rising, which looks pretty cool. It's just the config when I used it didn't load correctly. Not sure why. When I was running it, it was like there was a syntax error or something, or it couldn't load one of the widgets. So I was like, never mind, just leave it. I'll just wait for that because it's in early development right now. I'll probably give that a star later. I'll probably do that right now. Am I dropping frames? No, I'm not dropping frames. Interesting. Just gonna give this a star because pretty good repo. And then writing online. There we go. I'll just give you a star because I think if the developer does watch this of this repo, you've done really good work. I got it running on local. It looked pretty cool. There was one issue, but I think it was just because I was pulling from master that it couldn't bind to something correctly. Probably because it's running on my machine, not on yours. But project looks really cool. I just saw that it's written in TypeScript and Python, which Python is there, but everything else is pretty cool. Getting it working in a browser and having a VM in your browser, amazing stuff. Just a little hiccups with like the config and stuff. Probably going to be worked out, but I'm giving you a star because amazing work. And I think like the developers actually going to watch this. No, I know 100% the developers not, but really cool stuff. There we are. There we go. And as always, going to be opening up VI. VI is going to be on the right. I'm going to have the book on the left, and I'm going to be reading from my phone. Also, because I just got a message, I am on support this week, so if I get a phone call, I'll have to go onto the BRB screen, sort some stuff out, and then come back. Just a heads up for if there are a couple of BRBs in this stream. So let's read. Toy Robot. Been a while. Oh yeah, I'm running the simulation. There we are. Yep, there we go. Toy Robot Sim. There we go. What did I do in here? There is a move. somewhere. There we go. So for our IEX test, oh wait, is IEX? No, it's been a while. I've been coding in Bash and Java for a bit, and it's been like remembering some other stuff has been a bit finicky. One failure. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I don't know if I've done this. Yeah, I haven't. Cool. Essentially, then it's a simulation or robot. Where did you grab robot from? Oh. So it's got a essentially open a robot to a robot, which equals a simulation. Then we've got a simulation which pipes into a robot which, oh god, remembering some keyboard shortcuts is a bit messy. Goes to a robot.move. There we go. Hope that fixes it. Yep, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to be handling invalid movements. Okay, so invalid movements now. An invalid movement. Yes, yes, dot robot table and sim becomes robot to robot dot table and weights and toy robot dot simulation. Then we've got an EX table equals percentage table. So we've got X and Y at 4. That's X boundary, Y boundary. Becomes X simulation equals percentage stimulation of. Now I need to fix this. My wrist. There we go. Table. Robot. Center robot. X 0, Y 4, and facing north. Then we've got, there we go. X simulation to percentage simulation new. Then we've got error at table boundary. That square bracket. Nope, those are squiggly brackets. There we go. So what this does is you're at the boundary already. And then you are told, so you're x0, y4, right? So x0, y4, right? Boundary is a 4x4 grid, and you're told to move north, you're facing north, right? So you move north. If you move north, you'll be x0, y5. Your boundary is 4x4, so you'll be out of the grid. So you need to return at table boundary as false. So if I next first, should fail. Whoops. Always get that wrong. There we go. Okay, so this makes the. I really wish I could put my phone up somewhere so that. Could I put my phone there? No, that's not big enough, but I can zoom in. There we go. So this takes a move with a simulation. Simulation, which has a robot on the table. To do that, right? Then, in here, we got with move robot. Whoops. The robot to a robot dot move. Then we've got a through this to a table of valid position with moved robots. Then you've got a do. Then we've got OK, percentage simulation, with a robot to a moved robot. Otherwise, it's false and returns an error of at table boundary, and we get an end. Syntax might be a bit wrong on that. Nope, cool. So now we're going to move on to turning a robot. So we just need turn left and turn right. So it starts with turn left. So I can just zoom in on this a little bit. There we go. Put you there. Dock. I'm just going to nick these two lines. So this should fail. Just checking that it fails for the right reason, because syntax-wise, we already know I'm going to fail on that. There we go, that looks fine. So all it does is, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. So this simulation is kind of like a public way to do it, where in here, you've got your simulation, then you've got a robot for your simulation. Then in that function, all you're doing is you're returning an optional with thing you want it to do, which is for that simulation. You want to grab the robot, and then you want that robot to turn left. So it's kind of like, on the way I think about it in my head is you have your optional to wrap your result, right? Because you're returning it. Then you have the actual thing you want to return, which is the same simulation that you were running, but you extract the thing you want to do something on, which is your robot, and you perform the task you want it to do. So we have an optional, which is okay. You have your simulation, which is the thing you want to return. Then you extract the robot in that simulation and make it turn left. Which is how I think about it in my head. Yeah, so the way it's written in the book is the function extracts the robot from the simulation with pattern matching. It takes the robot and pipes it to turn left, which is just performing an action on the robot, which turns the robot left of the direction it was previously facing. And the updated robot is then assigned to the robot in the simulation. So it literally just extracts the robot, performs a task on it, and then puts it back. So it puts that robot back in. So extract, perform, back in. Cool, so now it's saying that we can just copy paste what we've got and do it for turn right. So if I G, yank, print. There we go, then up here, dollar, back, right, then 15J, dollar, back, change, east, then 3K, back, chain, turn right, 6J, 0, WW, turn right, down, dollar, back, back. I said that out loud. If someone does want me to show like me moving with the Vim motions, I can pop that up on the screen somewhere. Like I know the Primogen does that as well, where you can see it like on screen as you're typing. I can do the same thing if that's something that other people would like to see. I just think like my Vim motions aren't that amazing, so I don't think anybody would want to see that. But if you do, I can add them in. There we go. So now we're moving on to reporting the robot's position. everything's pretty much the same as turn left. So I'm literally just going to nick turn left. I mean turn right, sorry. As everybody already knows, we are lazy here. And anything that can help me be lazy is welcome. Turn reports to robot's current position. Whoops, I can't spell. There we are. So this one is just change to report. And it should return X, Y facing. Okay, so this simulation report should return a robot with X 0, Y 0, and facing north. There we go. Then I can change this to report, which takes a simulation with a robot to a simulation and does nothing but return a robot. So in here, I don't even need this anymore. Actually, that can be cool. Yeah, cool. Then WW, back, whoops. I think that should work. Yeah, cool. Now we've got move, turn left, turn right, boundaries, report, and I think that's it. There are way more pages in the book. There were only 81 pages in of 224. So now we're going to be reading in commands from a file. So I'm hoping this gets nice. Nice. So the author is saying that the building out the reading from a file is the biggest section of the book because it's the most complicated. I'm very happy about that because if it was just a short one, like in Java, there's multiple ways you can read in a file, right? If it was just, hey, use a file input reader or something, or what other buffered reader, file input reader, no, file input data source, file input stream. No, file input stream is the one, not file input data source. File input stream. If it's just like, oh yes, just use one of these classes, read, and then you're done, that wouldn't be interesting. If it's like, hey, we're gonna cover a ton of stuff. Here's what we're gonna do, and then it goes through. That's a lot more interesting because you're not just learning that, hey, this is just one class that does this. You never have to know about any other classes. It's like, hey, here's what we can do. Here's how we can manipulate it. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot more fun. Cool. So it's saying make a command.txt. Cool. So this is gonna have place 1, 2, north, then move, then left, then I didn't just zoom. Ooh, that's interesting. So the author hasn't put commas, hasn't put spaces between the commas. I'm assuming you can still delimit on you can still split on spaces and then split on commas. I'm wondering if there's a reason the author done that you could just split on one. So like on line 1, you split on the space. You'd have your command and then your parameters separated by commas. So then on your second run, to get the commands, I mean the arguments, you would just split up by each comma instead of splitting by space then comma. But then you could always just split on spaces and then you never need to have commas. You could just have space between everything. Delimit based on new line to grab each separate command, then delimit by space to grab command and then arguments. Because you know the first index will always be the command and then the other indexes in your list or whatever will always be your arguments. Interesting. Well, we're going to do it this way for now, but if we get to it and the author's just done that for simplicity, I will change that. Probably, if I remember. So place 1, 2, north, move, left, move, right, move, report, cool. Cool, so it's using file stream, which is basically like file input stream in Java to read in the file, I mean. Cool, so Def module. Whoops. Move left, right. Report. X and Y. Then we've got a move, turn left, turn right, then a report. Interpret commands. Cool. So now we're going to add a test class for this. I say test class, but it's more like a test file. Command interpreter test.exe. There we go. Then defno for use xunit case async true block test toy robot command interpreter. That should fail. It does not. Amazing. Why didn't that work? What? Command interpreter. Command interpreter. Yeah. Why isn't you working? Interesting. I wonder. No idea. That's very good. That should fail. Why is that working? Did I do something wrong? Oh. Wait, is it that? It could be. Hang on. I'm just trying to muddle my head through this. Alias toy robot commander and command interpreter. Yeah. Then. Yep, that looks fine. That looks fine. I don't know why this is passing. Def module toy robot dot command interpreter do at doc whatever interprets whatever. Example AEX toy robot command interpreter. That's fine. Then commands, then interpret, then X, Y facing, move, turn left, turn right, report, def, interpret. Then command interpreter test. Did I write it wrong? Command interpreter test do use XUnit case async true doc test toy robot dot command interpreter. And yeah, that looks fine. I don't know why this is passing. Why are you passing? Commands is unused. If the variable is not meant to be used, prefix it with an underscore. Am I missing something? No, I don't know why that's working. Oh well. We'll continue on, even though that should be failing. Commands to enum map and do underscore interpret /1. That's where that is. On Mac, that's not where that is. Damn. Okay. Oh. Okay, cool. So if I clear this, next test, hopefully that fails. That's interesting. Why? Oh. Why is it pausing? It should fail. I'm so confused. Why? Why? Why are you pausing? It should be failing. Okay, I'm gonna call it there for today, because now we've just got the rest of the commands to do. So I'm gonna call it. Let me just add and commit everything. There we go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, enjoy the rest of your day. See you tomorrow, and peace.